Right. I don't know what that means. Right. We are live. I hope I fixed the audio thing on the audio problem on YouTube. I hope. Let's have a look at this. Let me just 2 seconds. I will be with you. Just wish I could do chat. That was all. Before I go live on TikTok, is there a way to make sure, like, can I add just to the chat? Camera, text, links, video, cast, capture card, alert, goal, contact. Well, I don't know how to get, I'd love to know how to get TikTok chat a bit more. Okay. I like comments, I like gifs, I like disease. Yeah, I don't mind all that. Let me see. How you doing, Wayne? Good morning. And I'm still trying to figure out a lifestyle you can send everyone. I'm trying to figure out show messages from subscribers. I don't know how to extend the chat preview. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Okay, I think that might do it. Let's have a look, shall we? We'll see how that goes. Because TikTok chat has been a bit hard to sort of filter through. So we'll go live and then we'll just go from there, and then we can just sort of begin the crazy. Good to see you. Like I say, Ryan, it's good to see you. It's good to see Australia hasn't killed you yet. Not for lack of trying. I'm a little bit late today because I was speaking to Philip and the great Kevin Flanagan from Braham Academy. So hopefully things are in the pipelines. Obviously, I've got the live with Philip on Saturday about Donald O'Neill. Wayne, if you're listening, what is the audio like on YouTube? Because I've had complaints recently about the quality of sound on YouTube, and I tried some wee technicals to see. I didn't Silver. It has been a while, and I'm glad to see you. I'm just wondering, actually, if you're listening from YouTube, what's the audio like? Because I've been having a few complaints about the audio for YouTube. It sounds amazing, well, not amazing, but it sounds good on TikTok. But so I can hear you, but it's kind of please. Audio not great. Okay. I thought I'd fixed it. Give me literally a couple of seconds. How you doing, everyone? Right. Give me 2 seconds. try something, something a bit wild. It may or may not work, but I think we're at our wits' end here, aren't we? So let's try. If I suddenly go offline, my computer exploded. How you doing, everyone? I will get to you in a 2 seconds. Thank you very much, Averine, for what's the topic for this evening? Well, I try and do topics, but then TikTok goes mad with about 1,000 questions. In fact, I think I was one live where it was like 20. I don't know if it was one live, but it was definitely over a course of a week. It was 20,000. But I kind of wanted to look at some of the king groups, the wider king groups, if you see on that green map there. Yeah, so let me just try this. I'm going to go silent for just 2 seconds while I plug this in and get my OBS up. I don't know if that's... nope, that's not it. Blue. Oh. No, okay. Well, that didn't work. Hang on. What's it going to say to me? Oh. I don't know why that's not working. Put this up on here and lock it in. Is that any better? YouTube? Is that any better? Thank you, CSM, for the hearts. I do appreciate that. Just one second. We're having a sound issue on YouTube, and I'm trying to fix it. But for some reason, YouTube hates my microphone, and TikTok loves it. So, how you doing, Catherine? So we, I suppose while I wait for you, someone on YouTube to message me, just sitting there with me in the background. No, but I just have volume loud. I don't know why. Like my OBS is saying like my volume's up in the red. Like I'm shouting, screaming at you. Let's if I add that, do you know what? I need to get someone who's a bit more tech savvy, and maybe they can have a look at this. I tried to figure it out myself for you guys, but it just wasn't a free. Honeybees, I will do your name first in just 2 seconds. But I just want one last ditch attempt. I think it's only fair I try one last ditch attempt at fixing this, and then if not, guys on YouTube, sorry, I will have to let you down for one more night. But I just know I am trying my best to get this fixed in the background. Actually, I may have my old microphone. Because here, I'm going to end up with 3 microphones plugged into my computer. Here, why is it working? Ooh. So,
Okay, and then we'll try cancelling that for a second, and then we'll go to OBS is gonna hate me the amount of sound. Outputs I'm trying here, but I want to make sure it's a great experience for everyone. And yes, needs more bass. Yes, I know you're trying. It's great now. Great. Right. Okay. So I literally I don't know which microphone's the one that's picking up the sound for YouTube. But if I had my webcam up, I've literally 3 microphones plugged in. um, so, uh, but let's go for it. Let's go for it. It makes me feel more professional. Okay. I mean, do you know what? I feel like I'm gonna have to share a picture of this on my YouTube chat later on, just to see just so you can all see how ridiculous it is. Um, okay, so yeah, tonight I just wanted to do a wee bit about the king groups because a lot of people, due to my accent, I'm supposing, or just the way I pronounce things, they think I'm saying king groups, and it's kin groups, like your kith and kin, um, and they're the wider tribe, you could say, or yeah, it's normally known as a clan, but you know, a tribe is another word people may understand, that encompasses all these little clans and surnames that we know and love. Um, and so my plan was to sort of go through. Uh, Sounded like I was scuba diving earlier there. Yeah. So I think I fixed it now, but I'm not sure what I've done to fix that. But let's just say that it is done. But just if you can keep me in the loop if anything starts to dip or dive, that would be great. But yeah. So as I was saying, I wanted to do a few things on the some of the kin groups of Ireland, just the wider, and just drop some of the names that they are attached to, that are attached to these kin groups, um, and then hopefully sort of your names will come up. But I will, like I say, try and get through some of the names that come up. So, like I said, honeybees, I did say I would sort of say about your name. So there's actually the O'Gormans were marshals of the O'Briens, um, but they've also are. I'm unsure if these two Gormans are related, but there's also another line who have a traceable, almost perfect, not perfect, but have one of the best sort of family trees in the annals, where it's traceable from a direct line. As I don't know what title, if they were corps or earners of the monastic site of Clonmacnoise, the very famous monastic site of Clonmacnoise. Um, they will appear in a video of mine coming up, hopefully, very soon, where I sort of go through that. So, yeah, there's two, like I say, two branches, unsure of the relationship to each other, but one's, like I say, it's got I think it's 800 years, an 800 year, might be a little bit less, but a traceable line through the annals, and which is not found by any other family. And yeah, and the marshals, so war leaders for, you know, head of troops, head of the military household of the O'Briens. So honeybees, I hope you're still in the chat, and I hope that answers your question there. Everlasting Petals, thanks very much for the heart. I really do appreciate that. Uh, so good on you, YouTubers. If I was going to say a watchful eye, but it's a watchful ear. I don't know. That Tia Purple, thank you very much for the rose. Um, so yeah, I'll just go through just some of the. I think it's and then hopefully some of your names will appear, but then I will obviously um, make sure that I get through your names as well. Um, I figured out a way to sort of separate chat a wee bit better, so now I can see those of you who are, helping the channel a bit better. Key viewers that's called out for TikTok. Um, I, and I've got you separated, so I don't want to miss anyone who's really sort of having an impact on the channel. That doesn't mean that only people who do will get an answer. I'm not here to sort of for the money. I'm just here to, but I think it's the fairest way to do it. Jolene Haddock, thank you very much for the rose, and user 5842530978165. Thank you very much for the rose. Do you know I could never read those before. They used to cut off. This new chat thing's actually working out quite well. So uh, yeah. So do I start from the top? Like, I mean, I suppose the easiest ones. Now this says 1150, but um, uh, I'm not sure it's quite right. Maybe a wee bit earlier. Um, but I think maybe if we start from so a lot of these branches here, um, these are all so the Kinlowen, who obviously the most famous lines will be the O'Neills and the McLaughlins, as they were kings of Ulster, and sometimes kings of Tara. And through them are the likes of like I said you had the O'Neills and the McLaughlins are I've lost that thing are the main lines of those families. I did have a list of them actually. Bear with me. Um, do do do. I tell you what, this live. Like I said, I was emailing people before I came onto live, and it's kind of thrown me off. But yeah, so like I was saying, so again we've got Gormleys up here. I don't know if I actually mentioned them when I was speaking to the McNallys, the McDonaghys, Creans, Lunnies, Pattons, Kellys, the Devons, a branch of the McRorys, and another branch of O'Flaherty's. So all coming from this king group here. Now, like I don't know, I don't speak to anyone like they don't know, but there are obviously going to be people in the chat who don't know. But just because you've got a Gormley here, obviously you've got Gormleys here as well, who are unrelated. So you might not be from this line. I wonder if I can get YouTube chat onto a different, because it makes that every time I go from between TikTok chat and YouTube, it makes the screen disappear. We'll figure that. That's another thing for another night. I can't be doing that. So yeah. So that's the Kelmoan. With the Kennel Faraday down here, who are again part of the Killowen. Um, excuse me, and that's the sort of McCowells who often now one of the branches is anglicised from Campbell. So if you've got Campbells from sort of the Armagh region or South Tyrone, there's quite a possibility that you are from this branch. But again, families of the plantation would also have made their way in there. But you have the McGilmartins, also McMartins, the Bradleys, the O'Ferrys, the Mulpatricks, the McCarys, and the McGiverns. So again, Angie, thank you very much for the gift, Andy's 86, and Jason Allen and Fred Aiken again for the hearts. It's great to see you in the live again. Jason Allen again for another heart. Thank you very much. So these are your Kinlowen uh, king groups here, and those are some of the families that are associated with that. Obviously, then you have the Kin O'Connell, who make up probably the more famous lines would be the O'Dohertys, and their sort of branches, which were the McDads, McDavids, um, uh, Mc, McGills. Um, you also have the Gallaghers, um, and obviously the O'Donnells, who were the head king group, and supposedly the Sweeneys, if you believe their origin story of descending from Amrahan. Um, so just some of the families that are uh, rivals to the O'Neills, even though they are related, primarily because Ulster, or this at least the Eastern Ulster was there was a rivalry between because the O'Neills actually forced the Kinlochons out of the running for the kingship of Ulster. Um, so they weren't happy about that. Um, it's it's one of those things that hot topic for them. They weren't a happy bunch. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I want to just make my way down the map. Maybe if I see some names that sort of um, fly out to me, and we can go through all of them. Da, da, da. The you've got the Delvna Ephra, and they had another group. Was the what would they call it? It was like a Delvna Nudent. Um, oh, found normally around here. Um, so yeah, the families that would sort of be related to them are the O'Comrys, the Coughlins. So they would like the chief sort of family of them from Macaulay is the head of the Devlin Ethra. So yeah, so there's also like a branch of Delvins from there. O'Conrays, O'Conrahys. So yeah, they're the two main branches of this sort of area here. Uh, Any, I think so. Most of you will know the more famous branches. The Ebruin. The Ebruin was actually broken down into several big branches. The Silmurhi are descended from the Ebruin, and that's your O'Connors. Um, the O'Rourke's would claim descent from them. They would be a branch of the Ebruin Breffna, and and so would the O'Reillys. But I've stated before that Dr. Paul McCotter has stated that these are probably political maneuverings, shall we say. Um, I'm not tech savvy, but I would love some kind of copy of the map. Which map? We've got the baronies here. All the baronies, which is off Google. In fact, they're both off Google. They're I think this one's just like clans of Ireland map, and this one's on Wikipedia. It's the baronies of Ireland map. Um, so yeah, if you wanted to, so that is a quick Google search will pull them up for you. I wouldn't know how to send anything through YouTube or anything like that. I'm not. O'Rourke's, yeah, we just sort of covered them with the Ebruin Breffna. Same descent, same king group as the O'Connors. But maybe it being a bit McBride, pre-Christian Saint Bridget B. I don't understand the McBride, pre-Christian Saint Bridget BS. Nathan, awesome. Care to elaborate? I don't want to. You're missing an area of Irish history. Am I? What area am I missing? Let me just mark down your name, David. So I don't I try not to lose you in the chat. Um, I may still lose you in the chat. I'm sorry. But Sabrina Riddle, thank you very much. Mag, thank you very much for the roses. Stevie, back again. Kitchen, Mandy, Everlasting. Um, uh, Jacob Wiley? Jacob Wiley? Say Jacob. Oh, see, trying to just read it as people are coming through. Um, I'm Fitzpatrick. Our family's outside Portlaoise. Yes, they're from Tipperary. Actually, here you go. So the Usherga, they're right here, and they were part of the Dalburn kin group, related to the likes of the O'Brennans. Meher or yeah, so Meher or Maher or Mira. Again, multiple variations, but tend to be Upper and Lower Ormond. Although Dr. Paul McCarter claims they come from Usherga originally and invited there by the Butlers, and they could be part of the Dalburn kin group. I'm trying to see some people have actually put questions in here into the chat, but you'll just have to spam it because I'm unable to see. There's just too many great people here, like-minded people who are just all dying to know Irish history because who doesn't want to know? Who doesn't want to know? Oh, did I see a name? Did okay, I feel like David Cable. I feel like I've missed some of your original. So they were frequently moving between North of Ireland to the west coast of Scotland. Yeah, there was frequent movement, all the way back, trading and movement, all the way back to Neolithic. Um, migrations between the two, sharing of culture and ideas. And obviously we can see that by the Gaelic culture making its way into the western coast of Scotland. Although I feel it would feel remiss if I didn't mention um, uh, Ewan Campbell's sort of works on the fact that it may be that it was a culture that formed quite naturally in Scotland and Ulster through millions of microtransactions over centuries rather than an invasion from the Dalriada. Um, but Dr. Cormac McSporn has put archaeologist has put forward another case why he may be wrong. So but I think if you're going to talk about that subject, it's only fair to sort of say that there's two sides to that argument. Well, there's more than two sides to that argument about Ulster, its links to Scotland, beyond the obviously the more modern plantations of Ulster. Um, which would be modern period of Irish history, or British history, or Scottish history, whichever way you want to word that. It's not I don't really mind however you word it. The point's still the same. um, so I'm trying to say. Oh, sorry. I don't want to take up anyone's time here with just answering one person. Mulford from Wicklow. Tina, I'm not aware of any links with the Mulfords to sort of Irish or surnames. Now, bearing in mind, I get my knowledge of surnames and like the variations of it from Scoil na Gaeilge, DCU, National Folklore Collection, and UCD, which has up to 3,000 surnames. But I believe there are databases out there that have 6,000 surnames. Um, the problem is I don't know the sources from where they're gathering these collecting these surnames. So because I know that obviously those other groups that I've mentioned are, um, reliable sources. I'm only when I'm going on about Irish surnames, I'm going off a library of about 3,000 surnames in Ireland. And then plus all the ones I've gathered over the years that maybe aren't as extant or are extinct. So, um, yeah, it's I can only go off um, I can only go off that, unfortunately. So Mulford's not one that I know. Um, but if I will say that, like, I do intend to cover every family and research every family eventually. Uh, but if you are able to join the subscription memberships, where I do one-on-ones, not one-on-ones, but like a smaller group. We do a once a month membership only live, and you can sort of ask questions there. And if I don't know the answer, I'll have it researched by another live for you guys. So, um, and give you the answers, hopefully the answers you like, so or want or need. So if you do have a bit of a change, be great if you subscribe to it. But at the same time, none of my research and information will ever be behind a paywall. It will all make its way eventually out onto YouTube and TikTok. So don't feel like obligated. Kate Catsull, I just did. You did. Welcome to the Earfina. Yeah. On YouTube. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Um, uh, the Earfina doesn't get as many lives. It's because it's just the lowest tier, but that it does get invited to a lot of the lives. So, and I will keep you updated in the posts about them. Um, but being a member, it does mean that you get to ask a question and they get to the top of the queue. So, so there's that benefit. You're now in the queue jumping. And again, I will try and answer as many people. I don't just try and alienate, but I have to be fair. You guys are the ones that keep the channel going, so I appreciate that. Oh my god. The Desert Redhead, Shawn Michael, Pink, CQPC, Julian Haddock again, Lazarus, Bridget O'Connor, Alana Sophia, Bridget O'Connor, Gidget. Thank you very much for those gifts. And Mag, welcome to the Durfina. I hope to see you on the next live. Updates will be the members only live. Updates will be posted soon on when that is. It's normally around the closest day of the 17th of every month. It doesn't fall on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And I believe this week is the McDonoughs and the Breslins. Or this next live, but feel free to attend and put your requests in at least, and on the day. And yeah. So anyway, right, I'm digressing far too much. People didn't come here for me just to waffle on about like subscribe to me. I need your money. No. No. So we'll carry on with the some of the some. So I'll try and alternate between the names, um, uh, between my research and my and some of your questions. O'Malley, the O'Malley pancake are from here. They actually come from the Umal or Emal. Um, I do have a video of them on my TikTok. They're obviously a very famous, probably made more famous by Grace O'Malley or Grania O'Malley, and there's a bit of debate about obviously the history with her. She was very heavily romanticized in the 18th century, 19th century, by novelists. So her supposed meeting with Elizabeth I, and what else is and being the chief of the clan is disputed, but she was held in high regard by that clan, and she was definitely very politically active. With the Burkes, her eventually marrying into the Burkes, and her son Tippett being a Burke. So, thank you for sharing the life, Mag. I do appreciate that. Jack of all, Lisa Crow, Caitlin Rainey, Mag for the roses. Thank you, Mickey Man, Dancon. Uh, I won't lie. Shonane, Shonane Lockidot. How long have you been doing this for? So, YouTube, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years. I dipped into TikTok just a wee bit, just to sort of uh, effectively just to make sure my name didn't get taken by someone else for the first sort of for the last 2 years. I took a year and a half out, and I'm only just back now after I had another child. Well, I didn't have a child. My wife had another child, and I moved house and I got a new job. And I started because I work. This isn't my full time job. I work within the financial industry and investment banking by trade, but I wish to make this my full time job. But ultimately, this all started, um, well, really from childhood. But I'm in my late 30s now, so the internet wasn't really around until I was in my teenage years, and then I was too busy being a teenager. So my early adulthood, probably in the mid 2000s, mid to late 2000s was when I really kind of knuckled into it. Um, and yeah, and I got asked before by someone, how do I remember all these surnames and where they are? And I couldn't think. Uh, I couldn't think of a like analogy to tell someone like how, but then I've thought of it. I've thought of this is the perfect way to explain it, so everyone in chat will find understand how I'm able to remember their names and where they're from. So we all know someone in our life who's into sports, and how. So in my country, it's football's the biggest one, and I know people that can name footballers going back 30, 40 years, full teams, no problem. But and I'm sure people are like that with the basketball and hockey and well, this is my football. This is my hockey. These surnames are my players. So, and that is, you know, that is how I think that's how I'm able to sort of remember them the same way people can remember the Tom Brady's, the Eric Cantona's, the David Beckham's, but going back the each generation's one. So that is, I think, that is how. Common Sense, how you doing again? It's great to see you. And thank you again for the gift. Trista, did I mention you for the Seven Roses? I do appreciate that. I don't know if I'd said that. Um, yeah, so that is the best way I could sort of go on to um, explain that. So actually, O'Casey's, yeah. So they were originally lords of uh, Santry, like up here near Louth. But there's all it's in like the Kingdom of Brega, so I'm unsure if they're related to the Southern Neil. Um, uh, but there is a branch there. And there is another branch who were earners, hereditary landholders, um, of a church in Mayo. But I do have a video coming out about that. So there's Mayo. Um, so yeah, there's a branch in Mayo. I believe there's a branch in Roscommon and Fermanagh are the four that I can think of off the top of my head. But Casey's one of those ones that just sort of it it got about. um, so yeah, that was a Brega, and there you go. And that ties in with this king group here. So Brega was a kingdom that would eventually fall under the Kinnell. Are they even here? They're not even in this. So the Southern Neil, who are a branch who are related to the Kinlowen, and under Clan Coleman, they went across and took Brega in the seventh and 8th century, and then the King's Brigger. I don't know if he's related to the O'Casey line, but he was definitely part of the Southern Neum. Congla was a king from this area who challenged for the Southern Neil kingship and basically caused a lot of problems down here. And he will make a slight mention on Saturday's live, which isn't on here because it's with Philip at Irish Medieval History, and we're going to be talking about a rival of Congla's who was Donald O'Neill, the first O'Neill, the first one to use a common sense sent a galaxy. Thank you very much. I don't know what that means, but it's blue and it's big, so I'm guessing it's important. So thank you very much. You don't have to. You gift enough. um, but it's great to see you. Thank you very much, common sense. I really should learn what these are. Is there like a TikTok library where you get to learn this? Hang on. Sorry, Cat. Wayne, welcome to the Earfina. Actually, do you know what? I wanted to try something on your name and it won't. I wonder if it'll let me. First things first, Wayne, hang on, let me put you in a timeout. So you're now a moderator, Wayne. By the way, you've got power now. I think you've earned the right for it since you've been here from day dot. um, yeah, I wanted to see if there was a way I could do something on. Is there a way to don't abuse your power? Hang on. So let me make sure I'm not missing YouTube's chat here. Push the monster line. Did you come across? Hang on. Let me just. Cat. I just did. Oh, so many. My family are married to. Hang on, Michael Day. Thank you very much for those roses. Noah, thank you again. Sorry. Right. Okay. So Newman were landholding families outside of Navan. It doesn't strike me as an Irish family. Again, they're not on the database that I would use as my research. But so that strikes me as they're a family name that's come into Ireland, holding land holding. Whenever someone says land holding, I immediately sort of think more than likely, unless it's quite a recent event, that probably an outsider family coming in. So they could be of English descent and have come across with the plantations or with the with Cromwell soldiers when they were given lands which were used to to fund the campaign of Ireland, or even with William of Orange. So there's quite a few groups that have made their way across here. So yeah, there's I don't know of any, like I say, any native link to and I just want to say McAteer. I use that like in that McAteer. I was reading that. That's the next one. I'll get onto that. When I say native, I'm not sort of attributing that anyone who's sort of come here in the last sort of 400 years or 300 years or whatever is native. It's just that I'm just using it as a benchmark guider so people can get an idea. So common sense burns, yeah. So there's multiple burns. The only one that gets really written about are the burns of Wicklow, and I have done a video on them before, but there's quite a few sort of variations. There is a small branch up here in sort of Louth that gets a sort of side mention because they claim descent from the Wicklow line, although I'm led to believe that modern genetics is disproving that, and they are a branch unto their own. And before I go back onto that, I'm hopefully going to have someone on very soon who will talk about the genetic side of things, because I know that genetics nowadays is having a lot of impact on how we research surnames, how we understand surnames, um, and just how we um, 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 sort of understand how they fit in history, the historical timeline. So I've got someone that hopefully coming on very soon, not today obviously, but in a live soon, who will sort of help us break that down, because it's not an area of study for me. Um, and but I do know there's quite a lot of overlap between a lot of people who are here today and their interests in this, and you know, their interest in Irish history and the surname. So yes, um, so McNamara, yeah, McNamara's are a Clare family. They are descended. I believe they are also marshals for the O'Briens. They had a hereditary role within the O'Briens anyway. So they are a branch of them. And how do I find out more about my dad's name, please? What's your dad's name? And also, I often state that the best starting place if you're interested in, obviously, I only study from 5th century to 17th century Ireland and Scotland. So anything after that isn't really my area of study. Anything before that is, again, not somewhere where I am a professional at. So anything I give you outside of those two realms, outside of that realm even, is, you know, has to be taken as someone who's educated and has read about it, and will try to give you the best sources. But at the same time, it's you, you know, there's going to be sort of maybe minor inconsistencies. So, but I do try. Here to Spy, Lazarus, Lindsay. So Here to Spy, 25 rabbits, Easter potatoes. um, uh, Trisha, roses, Lindsay Moran, roses. Thank you very much. James Walsh, Bridget Flame for the roses. AJ Wonder for the tofu. Ms. Red for the roses. Thank you, Condor. Lindsay, did I already? Have you donated more? Thank you very much, Lindsay. Noah, and again, I don't know. I know I thanked you, Michael David. There was a second thing there, so I didn't want to forget that. Mag, thank you again for the roses. You are already a subscriber. You are giving me enough. I ban you. Stop giving me the. So, Fred Aiken, you're gonna get banned too. You're always here. John Maxwell, thank you very much. Lulu, thank you. John Maxwell again for the Easter egg and the heart. Mag, thanks very much. Right, so I believe I've just been thanking everyone because, but I need to get some names mentioned out here, because otherwise you're all going to be rioting, and I don't want that. Okay, so let me see. We'd already done McNamara. I believe I shouted out a name when I was McAteer on YouTube. I'm not. I believe it means like son of a craftsman, but I wouldn't know, unfortunately, off the top of my head, any area that they're associated with. Like son of a carpenter, a craftsman. But I will write that down, and I will try and get that remembered for next time. But I know that it's anglicised to Sayers and Sears as well, so that there are branches of any Sayers and Sears here. There's a and McIntyre, which is again a bigger group, and primarily from I suppose the biggest and most famous sort of McIntyres are that of Scotland. They are, but I know the McIntyres can also be found in Ireland. Let me get some of these people who are really key viewers key viewers. I only just set this up, so I am still learning. Here to Spy, thank you very much, Amanda Haney, Lindsay, Karen O'Neill, um, John Maxwell, just Marley. There's some names. I'm starting to learn some of the names that people are coming through as well, so it's nice. It's nice to start seeing regulars, um, you know, in this. Um, Toner, yeah. So toner it often gets associated with a like Norse, like a Norse name. People say it's a Viking name. There's no such thing as a Viking surname in Ireland. There's a Norse influenced surname. So you have like my good friend McAuliffe. You got Toner is another one. McCotter. But these surnames are being sort of adopted by possibly Norse Gaels 200 years after the Viking Age. But they're also being adopted by Irishmen. They're taking on these Norse surnames for a multitude of reasons. But toners normally found up in Donegal, so that's where they're associated with. That's their sort of traditional. Um, but there was a King Tomar of Dublin, one of the first kings of Dublin, I believe, and he had part of their royal regalia. There was a ring and a sword, and I can't remember. I think his was the ring, King Tomar's ring. Um, Marley, thank you for all those gifts, for the roses and the eggs, and Gem Sparkle for the flame heart, and John for the Easter potato. I love that Easter potato. Who come up with an Easter potato? Excuse me. So hang on, I'm just gonna start reading through the Macaulay. Yeah, so Macaulay's a good one, because it has multiple um, sort of variations. You've got Macaulay, Macaulay, which is spelled with a W or a U, and McAuliffe. So there's variations of that, and it comes from like McAmlov, and then there's another one, an Irish version of McAmlov. McOlaf is another version of it, and I can't remember how to pronounce it. I am doing a video on these guys. I owe a friend of mine a McAuliffe video, and I have for a while, but I haven't had a haircut, and I don't want to do a video while I'm looking like I'm homeless. So yeah, but anyway, there's a primarily. So I'm gonna have to break it down into, because you would have this variations of it. We have the McAuliffes that do Hallow, but we also have Farrells. The O'Farrells up here. There's a branch of Clan Olaf up here, and then primarily then you've got the Macaulays, who are found in Fermanagh. There's actually a place called Clanolly, where there's now a big stately home built on it. I can't remember who owned that stately home. I know William of Orange had a connection there. There's some boxes, big boxes there from William of Orange's campaign in Ireland. So yeah, but that Ollie, Macaulay, Olaf. That's your sort of variations there. Here to Spy of that name. Why is everyone typing their last name? He's not paying attention. Oh wait, I shouldn't have read that. Apparently, I'm not paying attention, Stephen. I am paying attention, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot. I can only do so much. And I'm reading through several. I'm reading for a couple of chats as well. So, I'm reading through YouTube, and I'm reading, and also that I do have to make sure that I prioritize certain people in the chat who are either members slash subscribers, and people who've gifted and ended up in the key viewer section. It's only fair. No, come on, it's only fair. But I will try and get to those of you who don't. So don't feel like you have to gift it for me to answer. I'm here to share, and Hannah, thank you very much for the gifts. The Rose, Dr. Joe Sparks, thank you again. Polika, Gem Sparkles again. Did I already thank you for the heart? Thank you again. I can't thank you enough. Right. Bradley. We actually just covered the Bradleys. There was a Bradley up here who are related to the O'Neills, or the for the Kinlowen, so that kin group. So this group here, who the O'Neills would descend from. There's a group of Bradleys here who are descended from them. It's obviously a name that come across from England as well, so that's just and I know they settled in Ulster. I wouldn't know where the plantation family sort of settled all of them. You know, I know like there's a couple of the first Wallaces were sort of up here, and they came across with their Adair landlords. Um, but you know, that's a just beyond my area of study primarily. I don't study modern history, and the plantations of Ulster sort of fall within modern history. So, but I do intend to do that, cover them. So yeah, there's a bunch of Bradleys up here. Um, thank you for the rose and the Easter potato. Six of them, six Easter potatoes. Zach Short and AC, thank you very much for the rose. Hang on, I'm gonna have to go back up the chat here because I don't want to make sure I've done McNamara's and Toners. We did the Macaulays and the Bradleys. Um, I haven't missed anyone here. So, right, let me just. YouTube's kind of got swamped again. Oh, hang on. Right, I'm coming back to his YouTube. I'm coming back. Oh, Newman. I don't know. Cheers. I won't know what to do with it, but try not to. Yeah, it's alright, Wayne. Um, uh, hang on. Oh, hello. Have you heard much before about aid in Toinslig? Apparently, in around his time, the YD R2 RD27 comes about mostly Eneo clans that you belong to. Right. I don't know if you heard that I've got someone coming on. He's hopefully he'll either come on or he's going to pass me the information that I can research it. But he runs a group who would probably fall within this category of DNA. So Kelly Dennis, thank you very much for your first gift of a rose. Thank you very much. And he's going to hopefully come on, and we will discuss this sort of DNA side of things. Because, like I say, DNA is not my area of study, and I would hate to give anyone any misinformation. I'm not about that. I don't want anyone to sort of be misinformed, leaving this channel without with that sort of idea that I've put in their head and it not be correct. I have a reputation. I always say that people who are interested in history are like. Do you ever see this? They take the mick in a lot of sitcoms about the geeks, the nerds about Star Wars. You know, if you say something wrong, Star Wars or Star Trek, and they're on your case. People who are into history are can be very much like that, and it's not a bad thing because I can be like that too. But I'm a leprechaun Viking. um, we're short kings, Wayne. We're short kings, I believe is the term. I heard our surname McAuliffe may not be from the son of Olaf, but the son of Humphrey. See, you're talking about Humphrey, Alan Humphrey or Humphrey Allen. I can't remember which way around. Who's the proposed progenitor of the McAuliffes and Duhallow? I have found no contemporary sources for that individual, and I am looking. So I don't even think he existed. And if he did, he's outside of the timeline of where he should be, and maybe a later individual. So I'm still researching that. But yeah, I'm there's no sources about him that I would consider coming from a peer-reviewed source that I could sort of run with. Yeah. So, but still looking. Cool. I'd rather be a son of Olaf. I think Humphrey is more than likely being something that's been anglicised from the Olafs, rather than Olafs coming from a Humphrey. But you know, I will keep digging. I don't want to say anything just yet because yeah, till I know. I'm from England. My last name is Kelly. Apparently, that's Irish. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, you could be a Kelly from England. Well, you are from England, but I mean, your ancestors. There is a unrelated Kelly line in England, in Cornwall. They make ice cream. Apparently, I've never had it, but I would love to go to Cornwall and B, try that ice cream. And there's a Kelly branch in Scotland, and then there's several unrelated Kelly lines. So the Emunia here is probably the most famous, but there's a group in Wicklow. There's a group down here, the O'Kelly Lucreta, who are one of my favourite Kellys. I'm sorry if any of you are the other Kellys, but I just love these guys. They're quite a feisty bunch. And there's Kellys up in Ulster. The Cianachta, there's a branch of sort of big Kellys as well. So there's multiple lines of unrelated lines of Kellys. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't know if you have. Uh, what about Phelan? Yeah, so Phelan is from Cork. It's a Dacia group, often anglicised to Whelan, and maybe related to the Eleathan who went across and took over parts of Wales. In fact, a part of Wales I'm very familiar with for a previous job of mine in a previous lifetime, the Brecon Beacons. Horrible memories. They give the king of that line give his name to that area. So you know, so yeah, feelings. Jenny, thank you very much for the finger heart. Just as finger he. Zach Short and Easy, thanks very much for the rose again. Uh, Hang on, I just seen someone who said something about paperwork, and I want to get see what they're on about and see what paperwork they have. Excuse me. And just as my phone decides to try and tell me that it's about to die, but that's fine. I'm not looking at it anyway. You have my undivided attention. Uh, oh, Ryan's or Rice. I have the paperwork from my family. I mean, how far back does your paperwork go? I'm always skeptical when people say they have paperwork, just because we weren't really known for keeping paperwork for about 200-300 years. But there are, if you are Ryan, I'll just sort of say that there are I think there are 5 unrelated families of Ryans. Excuse me. I think probably the most famous line is from Onybeg in Tipperary. That's so you've got Old Ryans, Mull Ryans, Rian. They are Keelish Cross. Great to see you again, Coleman. Yeah, I'll get to Coleman soon. Emma Garner, the intuitive unlost boy, Keela Cross. Thank you very much for those roses. Wow, a lot of roses. Thank you. Amanda Kendall. Thank you very much. Janine, thank you very much. So yeah, I was saying about Ryan. So yeah, there's like I said, there's multiple unrelated. So there's Carlo, there's Tipperary. I believe there's one up in Mayo. There's one up in Ulster. So there's quite a few families of Ryan, basically. And I believe one of them was an Urner branch as well, because I think I've got the research for them, a church that they were administrating. So yeah, like I say, there's at least 5 unrelated Ryan groups. So whatever one you descend from, whatever your paperwork says, it'd be very interesting. So how do I wish YouTube, I keep having to close you. I'm sorry. Oh, my loose wire on my screen's just gone black. Because my computer hates me. If I'm honest with you, my computer is definitely out to get me. Hang on. So let me go back to YouTube. I wanted to see if anyone was asking a question there. I don't want to forget yous. We try and split ourselves. I feel like I started this on YouTube. I moved across to TikTok, and TikTok is just taken over. um, do you know anything about the Mongi Omongian surname? Yes, I think you've asked that question before, but I think there's a couple of distinct families, um, like Cork, Mayo, and Ulster. I want to say Fermanagh. I think it's Mangan in Fermanagh. Um, so yeah, there's it can be anglicised too. Quite often, it's like Mangan is or Mannion. Or Meehan is another sort of variation of that. So, um, uh, yeah. So let's go back to TikTok quickly and see how. Cross Coleman. Sorry, I did say that right. You don't. I know you're only here to cause trouble. Yeah, Coleman's probably again the most famous. Coleman can be found just about everywhere in Ireland, or not everywhere, but it's got a couple of like unrelated branches. Probably the most famous line is from the Southern Eniel. Um, they are probably the like so you're talking Westmeath, because it was Clan Coleman that were the lead branch in the Southern Eniel. I'm just trying to see. Um, there's a famous abbot, like Abbot Coleman as well, in the 8th century. But I'm not sure if he uh, had any descendants. But we have bishops of Clogher, which is in Fermanagh, and they were earners of Congol and Bangor up here. Which actually that abbey's still there. It's in ruins, but it's still there. It's right on the coast. Um, uh, and then Earners of Cluin as well. I'm reading through my notes here from my Earner video that's coming up. So the Earners of Cluin. So they go from a branch of the Scanlons. So there you go. So that's a couple of. We are everywhere. You are everywhere. You are everywhere. Well, Ginny, thanks very much for the gifts. Kielcrot, did you? I hope you fell on that button by accident. 107. What are you doing? I appreciate that, but you're mad. And obviously, like I say, there's Coleman's in England as well. The Coleman mustard, which is actually quite nice. Um, uh, no, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Are you a member? Are you a subscriber? Can I gift you a subscription? Oh no, I've ended up. I've ended up in your page. I can. I'll try to see if I can figure that out. I think not yet, but will be soon. I think you just, if I can figure out how to gift you, I'd love to gift you one for because yeah, I think you've earned it. um, we'll be soon. Well, either way, thank you so very much, and I hope you will be you can join our membership only lives once a month. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge group. Nolan's, yeah, part of the, I believe they're part of the Efeely or Efeelin. Um, they have quite a lot of ties with the O'Tooles and the Burns during the sort of 15th century when this was kind of a bit of a hot spot. So yeah, is it true the O'D family in Ireland originally from County Clare? Yeah, so there was O'Days. I do have a video about them on my YouTube, the Battle of Dyser O'D, where they managed to hold off a Norman army, um, and they were surrounded basically, just long enough for the O'Brien forces to. Gurmarga, thank you. Just long enough for to wait for the O'Briens to come and help them and save them. But there was a very important battle, and it's So yeah, they're from quite clear, and there's O'Day Castle as well, still standing. I believe it's you can visit that. So uh, Judy Louise, thank you very much for a butterfly and flowers as well. Thank you very much, flowers and a butterfly. How it's like they're meant to be. Irishina, thank you very much. Will, I don't know if I got you again, but thank you very much. My great grandma was an O'Reilly. Yeah, so she like her links would be here in Cavan on East Breffna. Rivals and kin for the O'Rourkes, who claim descent from the Connacht through the Bruon, but as I've said many times on many lives, the Dr. Paul McCarthy thinks that's speculative at best. But who knows? You know, this is where we got the DNA going on. Um, you know, uh, we'll try and maybe get to the bottom of that one day. Um, oh, let's get you back. So let's go back to YouTube quickly. Can you do the Sloan surname? Yeah. I mean, there's I always see Sloan makes me laugh because if you ever see the Sloan surname in Irish, uh, it's like O'Slughin. Um, it doesn't look like it should spell Sloan. It's like slug here or I can't I don't very speak very good Irish, but yeah, they always make me laugh because it's such a long name for such a small name that's anglicised to that. But yeah, they're originally there's like I know two branches. So you've got the Sloanes of Mayo, and then you've got the Scottish Sloanes that came across and settled in Ulster. Um, yeah. Uh, Janine Sanders can't subscribe. Yeah, can't just click the subscription button and is it not working? Um, just click that. I don't. You're not banned or anything from what I can see. Um, so I can't see why that. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's my phone doing same on TikTok. Yeah. Um, I wouldn't be very proficient on TikTok or YouTube. Uh, it's not letting me type it in Irish. Oh yeah, I've got Irish band. I thought I would just uh, show the chat what it was like. 800 years. No, I'm joking. I don't believe in that sentiment. 800 years. It's wrong for so many reasons. Before anyone gets upset. Jen, thank you. Teresa for the flame heart, thank you. Is that say Keelan? Your name's very pretty, but I don't know. I think it says Keelan. Wendy Whalen, thank you very much for those roses and hearts. Um, no, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Um, I think the Gael might have missed his his um, his name, but hopefully he comes back. um, Harris, yeah, I mean I know of Harris as like in Connacht, like especially around Mayo. There's groups there, um, and it's often I think Harrison's the more popular version of than Harris. Um, but then again, you're going to have Harrises in Ireland that are from English extraction. Uh, we've Irish band, yes, yes. Again, again, it seems like Irish gets cancelled every couple of generations. Um, uh, yeah, so they're Harris is there from Harrico is or Harahoy, I think is the more probably correct way. Have you got Clark's in Mayo and Lynn's in Derry, please, and Cranston's in Truro? Well, a very large. Clark's are often there's two sort of branches from which the Clarks can descend from. Um, English Clarks and Scottish Clarks coming across from England and Scotland, believe it or not. And then you have the O'Clearys, who are Brehons and historians for a lot of families. Um, and then was the Lynns you're on about up in Derry? I can't remember. I've lost the thing, but the Lynns up in Derry come from O'Flynn's. It's an abbreviation of O'Flynn's, who are uh, what was the name of the what was the name? But they're found not too far from like Antrim. Antrim's probably more there than Derry. Antrim's actually there. This area of Antrim is their ancestral areas, and I did mention them on my St. Patrick's Day video. I think they're still actually they might be on my old St. Patrick's Day video, so on YouTube. So it's worth a wee look. Um, let's have a look. Let's go back to YouTube. Is Newell an Irish clan? I know of Newells in Scotland. I know of Newells in England. I don't know of any link to Newells in Ireland. And like I say, to anyone who's sort of coming in late, I use the especially when it comes to variations of a surname if they've been anglicised. I use Scoil na Gaeilge, DCU National Folklore Collection and UCD as the source, through the Ducas database, and that's where I get my variations from. That's where I read surnames. I think they've got a database of about 3,000, and I'm not aware. I'm pretty confident there's no Newells in there. Oh, hang on. Wayne seems to know a lot more than me. I'm missing so much chat in YouTube. I'm so sorry. Well, Harris. I used to live on Gordon Ruffian. 800 years sounds like a Proclaimer song. 800 years it sounds as farcical as it is. I hate that sentiment. It's so wrong. For a lot of reasons. I'm not diminishing any good, bad, or the ugly in our history from from colonization, but what I'm just 800 years is just wrong. O'Toole, yeah, which I guess is anglicized from O'Toole. Yeah, I never met anyone with that spelling. No, and you probably won't. I mean, there's often these wave of Gaelic revivals where people trying to like Gaelicize their surnames. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are people donning the older names. But the O'Tooles are from Wicklow and they're related to the Burns of Wicklow. So I can't remember if they're part of the Dunley or the Efuelin, or even the Email. Who are related to the Email? Oh, I think it's the O'Kellys of Cuan who are the Email. So yeah. What were some of the reasons the O'Sullivans split into Barrymore and Barrymore? So a bit like the same reasons the O'Driscolls did and many others. It was quite a common practice. So what happens is you still have a senior line, even if they are split into quite dominant lines. So obviously, as a Tanistry sort of dictates that land is kind of split. It's not like primogeniture of Western Europe, most of Western Europe, and most of the world, where a father and a son would just inherit it all, and maybe the second son would get, the scraps or whatever, a good education and a pat on the back, and sent on his way. Um, but in Ireland, it was Tanistry. Land was distributed because the king, chief, clan head, um, Tarnist, he didn't own the land. The clan owned the land. So it was, and it was like through councils of elders and nobles, that land was distributed. So you would have branches obviously earning more land, and having quite profitable land, and becoming bigger basically, and eventually it comes to a stage where, say you have the O'Sullivan Moors and the O'Sullivan Bears, they're not even really connected. They've got this land, the water between them, and they're both quite powerful lines. They're both quite strong, and to fight each other would actually be like two superpowers in the clan world fighting each other. They just become like their own political entity, but at the same time, there are still traditions held and acknowledged, in the sense that the O'Sullivan Moors, I believe, were the senior line. So the O'Sullivan Moors, the O'Sullivan Bearer are still like bowing down to the O'Sullivan Moor, but they're not going to be doing it for, not going to be pushed around or bullied. So that's the reason why you get these sort of branches. They're just basically powerful cousins that rise up, not rise up, but just are strong enough to sort of have a bit of free will. um, like yeah, they are from the Oenoctor Castle, yeah. Although it was the Oenoctor or the McCarthys that forced them where they ended up. Uh, where's my quill so I can jot it down on some parchment? I just type everything into my phone on my Samsung Notes. uh, hey, hey, Luke, how you doing, Luca? Um, right. Oh, and I've missed talking about the Sullivan Bears. I've missed stuff happening over in TikTok. Oh, but just before, Mullins is a he's like servant of a church, um, and quite commonly found in Clare and Mayo, I believe. So Melinda, Maru Book Lady, Little Old Ducky. I love that name. Welcome back. Anya Behan, Ken Sheehan, uh, the Desert Redhead, Jen. I think I've already said that actually, Desert Redhead, but you did it twice, so you can have two thank yous. Thank you very much. And Rose, thank you so very much for the subscription, to the Durfina subscription level. I do, just in case you don't know, I hope to see you on our membership only lives that I do once a month, where they're a bit more personal. You get a bit more information, and they're tailored towards my members. And also, if you have any questions, if I can't answer it there at the time, I will come back to you in the next live, and either do a whole video on your family, where you get a bit more information, or I will answer that question for you. So it's just my way of saying thank you to my members, and that we have these little close ones once a month. So I hope to see you at the next one, where we're doing the McDonoughs and the Breslins. Urban Aqua, thank you so very much for the galaxy. I'm still not sure what that means, but it's blue and it's massive, and I'm guessing that means it's big. So, but even if it's not, thank you, and if it is, really thank you. um, Aaron B98, thank you very much for the heart. Uh, uh, Armstrong is a Scottish surname, but I have seen arguments for there being an Ulster line of it. I do need to do a bit more research into that, but primarily they are an English and Scottish surname, but from the Scottish culture group of the Reivers. I guess you'd more associate them with Scotland, but they were on both sides of a border that is now there, which wasn't the same border, and they let them come across and start fishing with the plantations. Um, Common sense whale diving. Whale diving. uh, do, do you name these? But thank you. It's a big blue one again, so thank you. And we're on a sub wave as well. 2 subs. I've had 2 subs that are like, wow. Thank you so very much. We're yeah. The whale diving. Yeah. So thank you. Such a great turnout, and I'm trying to get as many insights from you as I can. If people don't keep throwing whales at me. um, yeah, did I see a Moran? Moran's Mayo Sligo, that sort of area of the country, um, from the Efikra. Who I wonder if they're here. Here you go. So there's the Efikra Mui, and the Efikra Aid, and I believe there was another line in the middle, but I can't remember which one they were. But anyway, this one's here. This underline here for the Morans. From Mayo, yes, Mayo and Sligo. Same, more than likely same line. So, Duncan, thank you again for the rose. I know you sent one earlier as well, so thank you very much. You don't have to, but it's crazy wild, crazy. Did I wait? So many. Burn, spooky, kooky. I've done the burns. They're from Wicklow. But like I said, there's a branch up here in Dundalk area, Lythe. A lot of unrelated lines. I have a slight interest in them myself because I have a burn connection genetically. So I have my Doyle from this area of the world, Southdown and Armagh. Well, actually from this part, and but my DNA says that like 800 years ago I have a common ancestor with a burn from the same area, unrelated to these Wicklow burns. So I have a bit of an interest in the name myself, but I'm yet to find anything about it. But I do have the full video about the burns on YouTube, so check it out. Urban Aqua, make it rain. Make it rain. Well, how many gifts exist there? They just get crazier and crazier. McGee's, there's McGee's, Mackie, McKay, McHugh, so many Mackie, so many Mahi, so many variations of it. There's there's links down here in the Strangford area. There's links up in Northern Antrim. I did put forward an argument on St. Patrick's Day on the membership only live, how it's not impossible that the McGee's progenitor or ancestor was the ones that enslaved St. Patrick. So so there you go. So that's McGee's, but it found everywhere, found in Scotland, and often in Scotland it's linked to the Mackays or Mackays. So yeah, the Wayne, have you ever been to Ireland? He has been to Ireland. Michael, have you done a DNA test? I have. I've done. I wonder. Do you know what? When I do the talk with a certain individual, we will have my DNA results up here. None of yous be using it to clone me. One is punishment enough. One of me is punishment enough for this world. So, Kevin, Andrew McArdle, thank you very much for the roses. I appreciate that. But yes, I have done a DNA test. Baron, yeah, there's a couple of lines. I suppose it could possibly be if I can get my words out. My mouth's getting very dry. I should really get a thing of water. um, yeah. So there's the one I know of is the Oberon, who are related to the O'Neills. Um, and yeah, it's sort of anglicised too. Um, but well, they're related. When I say they're related to O'Neills, I think that they're one of the either the Kinnock. I think it's the groups that are actually Niall the Nine Hostages is what I meant. Yeah, Kinnock, and I'm pretty sure there's a branch down in Clare too. So I don't know of any in the Midlands though. But if you know of any in the Midlands, know of a king group they're related to, like these ones mentioned here, please feel free to share. And that's nothing. Don't. No, you're very welcome, Aaron. Thank you for the gifts. Regina Mercer, thank you for the rose. O'Hanlon, I cover them most nights. It's good to see there's Armagh. Um, we, I'm yet to start the war or continue the war that exists between us in the north and those in the south when it comes to crisps or chips in America. But O'Hanlon's Castle in Tandragee makes the better Tito crisps. I said it. Fight and talk. I've done the Morans. I've done the Morans. Yeah, Connacht family. Literally, you missed it by like 5 minutes. Molly Gotra, thank you very much for your first gift. You sent. I love you. And Justin Finnegan, thank you very much for Corky, who just decides to wiggle itself at me. I have Morgans in my line, but they came from England. Yes, so I have Morgans in my line, but they came from Ireland because there's multiple origins for the name, including from Wales, including from England, and there is the O'Mirgon from the Monaghan area, or Mirgon, who are my line. So yeah, Morgans have multiple sort of areas that which it could be attributed to. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Fumiko. Do you know I've lost so many of yous have been speaking here for so long, and I've just ignored yous like a bad entertainer. Am I an entertainer? Have I made it? Am I now an influencer? um, uh, um, can I go? Can I go to like my local restaurant and be like, "Do you know who I am? I want a free sandwich." Let's see, Lillian. Before waffles, thank you very much for the gifts. I love taters. Can't get them in Oz. You can't get them in Oz. No way. I would have thought there'd be some. I'm on TikTok before you live for a certain amount of time and not active. It's all lies. I am here. This is not a pre-recording. I'm not that smart, right? Okay, so let me just get some of these names back from the group. Where's my quill? Was the last last thing I seen on on this chat. Bodkin. I only know the Bodkins of the tribes of Galway, and most of them, if maybe all of them, but most of them were of Norman or English extract. There's claims that a couple of them were of Irish descent, but it's debated. So yeah, Bodkins, they're the only ones I know. For the Bodkins, who else is here? Let's have a look here for another name. Foreign. I have heard the name. I do not know where it's from. That is one that I do not know where foreign could be from. Have I got anything in my notes that I just haven't remembered? Let's have a look. In my wee library that I do try and do a scan through before I come online, but like I say, 3,000 surnames. Foreign, nope. Do not have anything foreign, so I will have to obsess over that this evening, depraved, and have an answer for you on the next live next week. Thank you. Let's all the chat. Jen, Charlotte, Mac, Lillian. I think I already thank you, Lillian, but thank you again for those roses. Let me see. Views are. Blanchard, please do Blanchard. I don't know of any Irish Blanchards. None on the index I use for my remembering all these surnames. There's none, no Blanchard on the Squill na Gaeilge DCU and National Folklore Collection. So I'm near 100% on that. So it's probably come across with maybe English or maybe even Scottish settlers. But there's not. It's not an Anglicization of an Irish name, is what I'm trying to say. Murphy, please, my mother's maiden name. Murphy's got multiple unrelated lines, often mistakenly claimed to be of Viking descent. They are Gaelic, Irish, whatever terminology you want to use. There may be a Norse-related line somewhere, but 90% of them, 99% of them will be of Irish descent. Purely because of understand that the name means, or Murchara means, or Murra means sea battler, but the Irish were battling at sea long before the Vikings ever appeared. St. Patrick will tell you that. Yeah, it's an Irish surname that's found primarily along the coastal regions, all the way along. Oh, in fact, pick a coastline, it's there. But most people attribute it with Leinster. That's where the majority of them seem to be. Oh my God! You have speakers. I heard that. Oh my God! You have speakers. I heard that. Did I not have speakers before? I did have a live like last week, and I spoke for 30 minutes, and no one told me that I was muted. I don't know why. I don't know why it was. They just let me waffle on for 30 minutes. I wondered why it was so quiet. So hang on. So we were going to back to YouTube just to give them a looking, because they're the first. They were my first people. Clearys, yeah, they're from Galway. And I believe you can get McCleary's coming across from Scotland too. Yeah, McCleary, Cleary. Let me see on Hindman. I don't know. I know there's no. I don't know of any Hindmans. It being anglicised. I mean, you've got like the Hinds who are from like Cork. I'm trying to think whereabouts in Cork. Clare, sorry. The O'Hinds. If that's a name that they took on, Hind Man, but it doesn't seem as likely. But it's we've got Harrison from Harris, so it is possible. But yeah, it's not a name that anglicizes. It's not like been anglicized from an Irish name that I know of. sounds German, but it's Scottish. There you go. So it's a Scottish surname. Yeah, it's like I say, there's obviously going to be names that maybe aren't part of the like say the source I use for the original, the source I read and I get most of my surnames from, that I remember from, they claim to have up just over 3,000 surnames, but there are other websites that claim up to 6,000 Irish surnames. So you know, but I just haven't ever. I don't feel like I trust those sites yet because they're not coming from um, reputable sources. So yeah, Murters are from Donegal. Um, primarily, I find them in Donegal. Um, but it's also, like I said, goes back to links with Murphy's. It's another version of Murphy. It's another a version of Morrow. But Murters are primarily, if you're saying you're a Murter, most people would sort of assume that they're from Donegal. Uh, duh, duh, duh. Duh, duh. My dad's side is Monster and Connacht. Foreign, you asked Bremner. Don't know it, Fionn. Don't know it. I did Buckin. KF9214, thank you, Alicia, Billy, KF9214, Cody McVeigh, Josh Hayes, KF1024, Mrs. Stickers, uh, Josh, wow, just Rose, Quirk, Jen, Billy, Chelsea B, thank you for the first gift. I don't even know, I thanked you already. Chelsea Valentine is it, there you go, I can see that now, thank you very much. No, I do appreciate that. I'm actually going to skip right towards if you've already said, I thought Barkin was an hour ahead. Yeah, you do get the Barkin hour ahead. Yeah, that's true. Tato chips. Is Baru a surname? Well, Baru's an anglicization of Baruma, so it's a nickname, and some Irish names take different nicknames. I've never come across a Baru. If I did, I would. I'd wonder why they got that name. Since his ancestors were more than happy to take the O'Brien. Um, okay, flew over my head. My cats were reacting to the interference. There's interference? YouTube chat, I did ask us to listen out for this if there's any problems. Are you not doing your jobs? Christine Marie, thank you. Christopher Feuch, Kate Costello. And you might ask about the Costellos, but they're from Mayo. William, thank you very much. Hang on, so is there feedback, Cat? Wait. Sorry, mate. I was getting a drink. Yeah, on the day of your promotion, you decide to start drinking on the job. That's Wayne. I'm disappointed. Not that I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed. Intermittent. Oh, I apologise for that. I think it's because the microphones. Remember, I told you I've got 3 microphones on. I've put them all together into one area. And that's probably what's causing the interference, is that they are so close together. But now I know this is the way that I fix this. I can make sure in future I have another stand for this one, because I broke the legs on this one. This is why I bought a new one. I bought a new all singing, all dancing microphone for it not to work on YouTube. Can you believe that? And now all you can hear right now is me trying to move the microphone back. We'll try that. I failed on my first day. You did. But I won't fire you. Durley, I've never. Oh my god, the noise I haven't heard that in years. Like when your phone was close to the radio years ago. Yes. Hopefully that fixes it, because I've tried to push it back a bit. So Durley, I've never met anyone with the surname. Would be interested to know. So the only Durleys I know are from the I can never pronounce this word. It's not what it spells. It's not Emian. It's like Emunia or something. Anyway, links to the O'Kellys. Um, oh, hang on. Killer first. There is. Who's been speaking? We have Murters and Brady's from Blaney. There is. It's like a mobile phone interference. Okay, hang on. You sound like you're in a submarine. Oh my god. Sound problems. Hopefully this is better. Kielich, any better? McFartman. That's a name and a half. What happened to Desmond? Did Munster... It is. Okay. What happened to Desmond? Did Munster take it? I mean, the Kingdom of Desmumu or Desmond. So it has links to when Brian Boru, he gave it to his nephew, I think, when he became King of Munster after his brother. And then we have the Fitzgeralds coming across and taking over the northern parts of Munster and forcing the McCarthys into what would become the Kingdom of Desmond. And then after the Tudor conquest of Ireland, it would be absorbed into the Lordship and eventually the Kingdom of Ireland. So, to answer your question, it was conquered by England. Cody McVeigh, thank you very much for 30 cheers. Thank you. Gillian Stewart Jimmy, thank you for the 10 roses. Cody McVeigh again. Bruin, thank you very much for welcome to the Earfina subscription on or members on YouTube. More 51 Dermot, Clans and Dynasties. Hello. Thank you very much, Bruin, for the memberships. I hope to see you on the membership only lives. You are part of Earfina, so they don't have as many as the other tier groups, but nonetheless, I hope to see you at them. Thank you very much. The members are what keep the channel alive. So I really do appreciate that, and the gifters too. But I always say that if you've got change in your pocket and you're going to gift, if you really want to, the memberships really do help. And I do a membership only live once a month as well, so which is a bit more personal, friendly. Oh, I'm friendly anyway, but it's just a bit more personal and gives you a bit more information, and I can answer your questions. Do you know anything on the McVeighs? Sorry, Cody, I know you've asked a few times. KF, 1 second. I have to alternate between the chats and change the screen, but don't worry if you're subscribed. If you, I can see you've gifted, and I'll make sure that I have a thing on that. So. So there's McVeigh actually comes. There's actually a few variations of it. It's like MacMoyer, MacAmer. So there's branches related to the Kinaloan, the O'Neills. There's a variation of the name MacMoyer who descend from the same sort of the Irish version of Mayor, because McVeigh comes from like some of the steward. And they held the Book of Armagh, but for like centuries till the Brown, who were the landlords? The Brownlow family in Lurgan end up taking the book. But Ulster is the main sort of areas attributed to them, areas around Armagh and Tyrone. Kinlow and O'Neill sort of relationships, links. Foreign. Didn't did you already ask that, Kev? I thought I'd already said that I wasn't aware of the variation of that name. So I don't actually know foreign, KF. I don't know its where it stands from. basically, if I'm honest. I don't. It's one of those names that has slipped through my knowledge, through my net. I'm sorry. I've 3,000 surnames, the foreigns, the one name that you've gifted, and that I don't know anything about. But we either seen one that asked for it on YouTube too. Thank you, Cody, for the confetti. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I will know for the next live next week. I will know some stuff. I will know things. I will learn them. But yeah, I'm sorry. There's very few times I get um, uh, tripped up on a name, or I at least know a branch of the name. But for foreign is one of those names that just has never really appeared on my radar. Um, so yeah, I do apologise about that. What clan name history around County Down, Ard, Spencer? That's my neck of the woods. Um, so there's actually it was owned by the Dalfiatach. So one of the king groups associated with Dalfiatach are the Coulters, which are still extant in the area. Although I don't know if they're the same Coulters or later migration, because it is obviously a name linked with um, migration groups into the area from mainland Britain and Scotland. There's like the Begans as well have an association with the area, or Biggins, or Littleton, or Little. They're all part of the. They were from Clan Tierna. They were. They're found from Newnorge as well, but a lot of them moved to Sligo and became earners there. Drumcliff Church. So if you've got like Began, Behing, Littleton, Little, Bean sometimes as well, in the Ards area, that's they've got links to the old sort of Irish king groups near this king group here, the Dalfiata. Please do Brennan. Brennan's, there's quite a lot of Brennans. Thank you FKM for the follow. But the most famous line is down here in Kilkenny, related to the Dalburns and Fitzpatricks. And I often tell people, if you want a nice wee glimpse into ancient history, writing on a specific family, O'Haran's poems, 14th century poems, he mentions the O'Brennans and their being lords of an area there. Ido, I want to say this. Chuckles, thank you very much for your first gift. Nightfire, thank you very much for the heart me, the rose, marvelous confetti. So it's cheeky cats. Thank you very much for the gift. Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you, Cody. Thank you very much. You didn't have to do all that. I just still answered. I just still answered you. I do appreciate it. G Save Ireland 555. I mean, Save Ireland from what? I mean, we're doing all right. Okay, so TikTok. I'm gonna end it here. It's 12:05, so you got an extra 5 minutes. Thank you, Linda Nolan. Thank you very much for tonight. I will see you next week. Is there a members only live between now and then? No, there's not. So I will see you next Tuesday at 10 p.m. Dublin time. And thank you very much. I really do appreciate all the love. And if you want to see us live again, I did mention like Murphy's and stuff before. It'll be on my YouTube. Thank you very much for the gifts and the memberships and the subscriptions. These have been absolutely wonderful, but my voice is going, and I won't be able to, serenade the wife tomorrow. No, I'm joking. Right, have a great night. Slán. Right, okay, I'm still here at YouTube. I'm still here. Right. What I want to do is because TikTok kind of dominated that. Literally dominated it. There was something like 30,000 viewers. So I just could not give you the attention you deserved. uh, um, I'm gonna get a membership. Hold on. Hang on. I wonder if I can. No, I did try to gift Wayne one earlier. You don't have to get a membership, you know. There's certain people that have been here since the get go and really were some of the founding members of this. Um, um, Let me just see here. So I do owe you a couple of surnames, a couple of so let me just find if I can get through all your chat. Do you know that's what I like about YouTube? You actually have a chat. TikTok just throw names at me, just constantly, just names. That's all I see is surnames for about 2 hours, just constant. Um, Surnames, constant. No questions, no how's everyone's day. I don't nobody asks how am I, but yeah, so I will go through. So what would we have here? Fionn Irish adopted for means son of the lad of winter. Dan Winters was an Armagh Gale. If you know this, what are we doing? What are we? Fionn, what was was that part of another conversation? Did I miss something? This is my I'm trying to see if I've missed any conversation here. No, I don't know. But either you just sort of mentioning just Dan Winters for the crack. Are you going to start promoting his house in Loughgall? Yeah, welcome to the Air Fina. Yeah, don't even have to. But thank you very much. I'm not even on TikTok. Your membership is cheap, mate. I'm worth it. Yeah, so I have obviously 3 tiers. That was way too complicated. Is it not just, I've never subscribed to myself. Is it not just a click button, YouTube? Like, do you not just click it? No, I have 3 tiers. Obviously, the 99p is just, I don't want to. Victoria Olsen, thank you so very much for the gifted. I don't know what that is though. Is it a hippo? A hippo. Yeah. So the way the ranks work is the 99p first year Fina is just a way of sort of supporting the channel without ever having to gift or anything like that, and the second tier is would be more for like the full-time memberships, as in like we'll get more things, and then the last tier really isn't, you don't get that. I wouldn't say it's worth it financially for the last tier in the sense of like in comparison to the other two, but it's just more for those who are a bit more flush, have a bit more expendable income and just want to support the channel with it financially, really. So, yeah, my whole point isn't really to take money off anyone. It's so I want to make sure that there's tiers for everyone, because at the end of the day, we all, we all got outgoings and stuff, and I don't do it for the money. So just a little chat is always way too complicated. I'm only just pumping next time third. Don't go third. Go if you're going to win, go for the second rank. Uh, when will you come to Munster? Little more is all. He's done a bit of Munster, but he's a Northerner. Yeah, I'm an Ulsterman. When will I cover Munster though? I mean, have I covered Munster in any of my videos? Well, I've here the O'Sullivans, done the O'Sullivans. Uh, in the longer videos, I've done the O'Driscolls in the short form videos. So, that tone, take that tone away from Wayne. I'm watching you. You're already. Do you like pineapple and cheddar cheese on a stick? I mean, it's if it's at a party, I'll have a bit like, but normally I'm half cut by then. I've never eaten it sober. Is probably what I'm going with that. This is bad. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah. Mrs. Banfield. I don't get the reference. Am I meant to? Is this some sort of like Ulster culture that I'm meant to get? Um, Northern Ireland. What is it? Northern Ireland lore, and I don't get it. I'm sorry, Fionn. I'm letting Ulster down. Harry Enfield did us dirty with that. Oh right, okay. So Harry Enfield. Oh, the only Harry Enfield. Right. Yes, I remember. I remember. No. He did. Um. Yeah. I mean, he modeled that. He modeled a lot of his stuff on, basically a caricature of Ian Paisley, didn't he? So, um, um, This is my second time tuning in. Yeah, keep an eye out for Ian. Yeah, I'm a worry cat. Yeah, he's problematic. Problematic is definitely true. Yeah, but if like I said, Kat, if you want to know, so I've done short videos on the Cork Ravina and Kerry, and that sort of breeds into the O'Noctalochleen, who are the Moriartys, the Cork Aligda, who are your Coffees, your O'Driscolls, um, your Owenoctor, who are this area, who are your McCarthys, Callahans, McAuliffes, your E. Carberry, who are your O'Connor Kerrys. So these are some of the key groups here in the family. So I've done things on most of them. In fact, I would in fact I think I've done more history in Munster than I have in Ulster. Do Breton people have clans like Ireland? I am not aware of any similarities in Breton culture with regards to kin groups. And I know there are a lot of in Europe. It doesn't seem to be clan oriented after like the likes of Charlemagne. Um, I mean, there's an argument, there's a debate whether the Anglo-Saxons had clans, and there's definitely an argument for saying it had a version of very similar to clans. And it's not just unique to Ireland. Obviously, Armenia had like a clan system. Um, so a lot of Muslim, the Muslim world have still have clans. Like normally starts with like Banu. Um, so it's not unique just to Ireland, Scotland. So to say that, but I'm pretty sure most of sort of Western Europe kind of lost their tribal and clan sort of affiliation with the rise of um, uh, Western cultures in the sense of like nobility and what's it called, feudalism. The rise of feudalism. That was the word I was looking for. Charlemagne was drowned in nine horses. To be fair, Charlemagne should have been quite the character since he had an Irishman in his court. teaching him Irish. So I would like to think that he was a bit of a laugh. Um, is it listed specifically in the thumbnails? No, I am rather too lazy with the thumbnails of my shorts, and I kind of just assumed people would know their own coats of arms, which are normally displayed on some of them. But unfortunately, I'm forcing you to have to watch them all to find the one you want. It's a cunning plan to make you watch all my content. Uh, most have distant relation to Charlemagne. Yeah, I mean, he was a bit of a lad, but like say Niall. Between Niall and Nine Hostages and Charlemagne, pretty much got Europe covered. I think Niall is like the British Arthur. I mean, there is a very good like debate about that, or discussion to be had about that. Um, I don't know if Wayne, do you remember Wayne when we did me and Philip in his old channel? Did the Arthur Origins with I've forgotten her name. Um, yes, cat. I'm an evil genius. um, we did a yeah. Do you know if it's did do you know if Philip managed to bring it across to his old? Because I know he deleted his old channel in a rage and lost a lot of his videos. But we did a discussion, for those of you who don't know, about Arthur and the origin myths around him, and I think we sort of touched on O'Neill, Mr. Niall, having close links to. We definitely touched on the Arthur myths links to Ireland. It's definitely something I want to revisit. Um, I think either Rambling Call and the Jolly Reaver. I actually don't follow the Jolly Reaver. Would make a brilliant collaboration video, although I don't know if you know that. No, I don't know the Jolly Reaver, but I will do probably today. Do you know what? I was saying this the other day. It'd be. I don't know if we've missed the podcast stream, but I wonder if like a podcast would be the way to go. But we can't really do it with Philip. The time difference just makes it so hard to do. But I like you two doing the O'Neills the other day. Yeah, I mean, and hopefully you'll get to see Philip's one. We're doing the second, almost it's like a part 1A, from Mircha's son, Domhnall. I want to get Philip back on again like we used to do, quite a lot of regular videos, and get him back in. And I'm hopefully going to be having Kevin Flanagan from Brehon Academy on as well for one. We haven't nailed down the topic. I've put 2 ideas to him, and hopefully he will pick one of them. I don't like Blind Boys Politics, but I think the Rubber Bandits would be class. I love the Rubber Bandits. And Blind Boys Politics, I don't really follow his politics. I get the odd TikTok, but it's a bit out of my area. I'm not that keen as long as people aren't killing each other and looking after each other, and maybe I sort of affiliate with the hippie mantra, peace and love. He does a lot of Gaelic mythology podcasts. I wouldn't touch Gaelic mythology with a barge pole. It's almost like the new politics. Although I will say I am working on a video, researching. So when I say working, it takes a long time for videos. I am researching a version which will link clan history and mythology, Irish mythology. So that's all I can give. Gaelic mythology is mad. It's mad. It's also been heavily saturated with myth, hence the mythology, but just heavily influenced by modern culture and modern writings, that it and because it's almost become a religion to people again, I suppose you could say again, um, it's become very hard to um, open up to discussion because people can get very defensive about it, and I'm certainly not here to offend anyone. So um, it's one of those sort of subjects. But like I say, uh, I'm working on uh, a sort of video um, that sort of ties the two together, and hopefully I do it in such a way that people enjoy it, because it's not a so much about the mythology. It's more about the individuals and just not what they did or anything, just how um I don't want to give it away. But yeah, it's I thought Sloane was associated with South Down. Um, did I not say Ulster? Did I not say Ulster? They are associated with Ulster. Um, Roscommon and Ulster is the sort of areas they're associated with. Did I not say Ulster, the Gael? Uh, our banshees called me. So this is the sort of thing I want to tie it in with. Not so much banshees. Um, but like I said, the idea I have, I think it's going to be good, very good, and interesting. But did I say Mayo in Scotland? Oh, I'm sorry. No, Mayo, like Connacht. Um, do you know what? I must have been reading two names at the same time, and just sort of answered it. It gets. I was just saying that there was like 30 odd thousand people on TikTok. So, yeah, Roscommon and Ulster is Sloane. But I did say, um, that I do love the Sloane can be Scottish, yes, but I love the Irish, the way it's written. It's just so long, compared to the name. Yeah, it could be detrimental. Yeah, the idea I have, like I said, I don't want anyone stealing it on me because it hasn't been done before. Not that anyone here is like creating, but it's just it's going to take me a little while to do. But I think if it's done right, it can be an amazing video. So I'm keeping my cards close to my chest when it comes to mythology and my content. You've got to keep these gold nuggets. and then once you release it, someone else will just release an AI version of it and just get a million views. Uh, is all you can do is sort of hope that you stand out in the crowd. Do you know anything about the McFadden or McFadden? I know it's a diminutive of Patrick. Again, it's found. It's more, I think, associated with Ulster, which means, excuse me, which means a Scottish link, more than likely. McFadden. Yeah, I think it's associated with Ulster generally, but I wouldn't know if it's got if it's got an Irish sort of branch to it, or whether that comes from a later version. I know it gets anglicised to Patterson too. Right. Well, I think 12:30. I give you half an hour of my waffling. I should really get to bed as I have work tomorrow. But thanks very much for. Yeah, it's extremely common in Scotland and Ireland, Northern Ireland. It's not so common where I am on the Irish Peninsula, but it is pretty common in Ulster. But I'm gonna leave it here and get some sleep. And oh, that fell off there. And thanks very much for tripping in. I will see you all next Tuesday, 10 o'clock. If you're there, 10 o'clock Dublin time. But if I don't, thank you for popping by. Kat, the Gael, Wayne, Fionn, anyone else sort of still in the background. Victoria, if you're still there, thank you again for that gift. And thank you, Fionn and Bruin and Kat for and Wayne for the subscriptions, the memberships. I do appreciate that. So, go sing to the wifey. Have you not heard this voice? Sound like I'm in a metal band. Have a lovely evening, guys. Slán.